All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto the life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Don't want to make this a quick show. I did a show on the animal symbols of the Roman Empire. And one of the main animal symbols that I was focusing on, because everything in the scriptures have, there's a reasoning why the Lord made certain remarks about something that was within the scriptures to bring the scriptures more alive. So the thing that I found was, because I was watching a TV show called Rome, I recommend it, but keep in mind it is HBO and there's a lot of wickedness in there that you can see. But unfortunately, that was the Roman Empire. So the animal symbol that I was focused on and was breaking it down was here. You have your Dracon, a Roman dragon, which when you read this, the Roman dragon was what the cavaliers, what you call horsemen, all right, what they use as a banner when it was going to war, which everything that, even in the ancient times, everything was a scare tactic. I would say a scare tactic, but when you see that banner, you would be afraid of it. Even with the dress code, when they wear that red, that crimson red also meant something too. It was symbolic to bring fear to the enemies. But there was something that I looked up within this. I'm just going to go straight to the point. And then what it is, it says right here, ancient Romans loved the dragon so much that every home in ancient Rome was full of the imagery of these kindly beasts in their altars for Gino Locae. And I did look it up in that particular show. One, it tells you that these people they represented, one of their animal symbols was the dragon. So when you read the scriptures, when they spoke of the red dragon, enough said, right? But when I look up the word Gino Locae, now that, and it says all spirits protecting the place in the classical Roman religion. Genius Locae was commonly depicted as a figure holding a cornucopia or patron or dragon. So the key of this particular lesson is the Gino Locae or Genius Locae, whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, what I'm talking about. All right. So when you go to the etymon, Geno or genius, a tully or moral spirit who guides and governs an individual thought. So let me go into this again. It says tutele or moral spirit who guides and governs an individual through life. You could say like a guardian angel, right? That's what it would, come in mind. From former Latin, Geno, guardian deity or spirit which watches over each person from birth, spirit, incarnation, with talent, also prophetic skill. The male spirit of the genes or original rejuvenated power or inborn nature. Geno give birth, begotten, will derive, referencing the procreation or in familia and tribal groups. So genius or genio, let's say you say it in Greek, that's what it means. So when you watch the show, Geolocate. Okay, so locus or locate, place, spot, locate, locally or located. So put it together. What geolocate means is guiding spirit or a spirit in a certain location. So when I did look it up, it would say where did I look it up at? I did this. No. When I looked it up, what it was speaking of geolocate. So when a person goes to a particular area, they don't know the spirit. Because in the Roman pantheon of different gods, they worship a whole bunch of plethora of gods, right? So when they go to a different location, they don't know the particular spirit of that location, so they say a geolocate, which it could be any god. They just put in as they travel. They just asking whatever god that is to protect them, and that was part of their culture. All right. So you can also apply that to area codes, certain locations that we all dwell in. Okay. That's why you have nothing but I would say like this gothic depiction. Okay, when you go to like major cities, because it's not just in New York, it's in a lot of cities. The way the buildings are created. Another historical truth fact that got me thinking. Where the Chicago Bears play at Soldier Field. When Soldier Field when they first created it, they dedicated that Soldier Field to who? Molech. And there's there's a video. I'm not gonna look it up. I seen it. There's a picture and there's a video. I think it was mostly a picture of them sacrificing children in Soldier Field. So what is that? That's a form of sacrificing or dedicating to a certain spirit. So that is another trait that the America follows of the Roman Empire or the Roman Republic, because all these different gods is all found here in the shores of America, because America worships all the ancient gods. Real quick, couple Acts 17. Yeah, it is at 19. Acts 17 and 19. It says, and this is speaking of, matter of fact, I should go up. So now we equate that. You got a picture reading this particular chapter. What was Paul's mission? Paul was the prophet or the apostle of the Gentiles, which were Israelite foreigners. So he got to travel. Plus, he was a Roman citizen. Now, I did the show. Let me see if I still have the map. I didn't. I took the map down then. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Brothers that study should know. Let me just go and get it anyway. There it is. All right, let me get this one instead. All right, so this is the Roman Empire. All right. It's not even clear. All right, sorry. So Paul's travels from Jerusalem to Asia Minor, Cyprus. This is called Asia Minor right here. Damn it. Okay, whatever. You obviously got Italy. He went to Rome, which I'm gonna get that too. All right, let me see. It's not a good map, but you get the picture. So you have to travel through all these different places where all Israelites was dwelling at. And what they were doing, they was doing what the locals were doing. Okay? And it wasn't a good map, but it is what it is. Now, Acts 17 and 16. Now, while Paul waited for them at Athens, where's Athens? Athens is in Greece. All right? Greece had, well, I believe that 1,000 islands. I've been to Greece too. Not that impressive. But he had to go there. It says, now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city holy even to idolatry. What is idolatry? Worshipping different gods. So I just made a statement. The Geno Locae was for unknown gods that they were just dedicating if they couldn't find a particular god that that represented that area. Okay? So when he came into Athens, he saw all these different gods. His spirit was stirred up. Because it's like, wait a minute. We believe in one power, and here it is, our people just into all sorts of things. Like I said, the good show is a good show to watch. Season 1 is, well, still gotta it's hard to, certain things you can't watch to get the accuracy. You know, you can see the accuracy, but there's a lot of folly and a lot of homosexuality, and you just gotta get rid. If you know a show like that, you just gotta fast forward. That's the best option I could say. I'll say season 2, episode 2, and season 2, episode 3. The beginning, automatically skip. Everything else, just try to stomach it, and because it gives the reality of these shows like Spartacus. That is to show you how wicked Rome was, and throughout the whole show, it would show you of all these different gods that each person had like a freaking. Each person had a god for their household, and they believed that these gods was going to protect them. The same thing that's happening to this day, but they will call it, the Catholics would call it, saints, because the Catholics saints go back to these different gods, which is another show I'm going to tend to do of what they used to do in ancient Rome. It says, therefore, disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews. So he separated himself. He went to the synagogue. Synagogues are the chief houses of worship for the Israelites, right? For the Jews. It says, and with the devoted persons, and in the market daily. So he not only did his business in the synagogue, he also did it in the market, which the Greek word for market is agora. So daily he was going back and forth with people, with them that met him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and the Stoics. So the Epicureans are the lovers. They believe that love is in pleasure, and the Stoics were like disciplinaries. Okay, and encountered him, and some said, "What will this blabber say?" So you had two different factions that would come to Paul, and they would go back and forth, like, what you got for us today? And this is all part of debates, public debates, because that's where all the action took place. It was in the public. In the agora, there's marketing. You get food. You get to see people that you haven't seen in a long time. You get clothing and so forth. Then there was debates. There was trials in the agoras. Okay, public trials. Not like you go to a courthouse and you have to go inside the courthouse. No, it was publicly where everybody can see what's the verdict and so forth. Okay, that's how the ancient world was designed. It says he seemeth to be a settler forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahushua in the resurrection. This is something I never heard of, right? But this is something that the elect will understand, because the elect, it would have sprung in a mind. And he took him and brought him unto Agabus, saying, May we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is? For thou that bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know thereof what these things mean. For that all the Athenians and the strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing. And that's Jake to this very day. That's why you have Sonetta. All right, Sonetta, his whole black unconscious movement. So he brings in the Egyptian, the guys who worship Egypt, the Moors, 5%ers. Now the great thing that the only money making thing he has is the Hebrew Israelites. All right, so they all the same. That's the same type of spirit. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hills. Now, when you go into the history of Mars Hills, that's where I believe Mars is Ares, the war god. I think the myth is he was put on trial on that hill. Mars Hills also, if I'm not mistaken, is Capitol Hill, which I was gonna do a show on that too. But it says Mars Hills, Returning Peak, the rocky height and city of Athens, opposing the west end of the Acropolis towards the west. It says, let's see, the name of the great, the Vert, Rock, Ares, Place, Athens, Acrobus, Mars Hill, same thing. It said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by, behold, your devotion, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore you are ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you. So why did they put an unknown God? Because all different gods that they had some sort of territory people claim, but it's like to this unknown God. Like, we don't know which this God is. But Paul was like, look, I got news for you. I'm gonna tell you who this unknown God is. All right. So that was a practice that was not only the Romans, which the Greeks at that time was under the Romans. This is what the heathens were doing, which our people themselves was doing. All right. It says the God that which made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is the Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worship with man's hands, as though he need anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath in all things, and have made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth. And you have determined the times before appointed and bounds of their inhabitation, that they seek the Lord with happily, that might fill after him, and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. So is it talking about all people? No, he's talking about all Israel. All right. Yeah, we all have one blood. We all come from Adam, but the Lord said that he separated his people from the sons of Adam. Okay, but that was the point of that one, and this is why it says in Romans 1 and 20, I believe. I started 19. Let's go. Matter of fact, Romans 1 and 1. Paul is a servant of the Yahushua, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of the Most High, which he had promised afar by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures concerning his Son, Yahushua Mashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to flesh. So that goes that goes against the virgin birth, all right, because to show you that the Lord came from men. All right, it's not that one wouldn't be divine. That would be incomplete if the Lord was born of a woman. So this whole myth, that's as part of these different gods that the nations were worshiping. It says, and declare to be the Son of the Most High with power according to the Spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead, by whom we have received grace and apostleship, which apostles means sent away. The prophets were sent away from the homeland to preach of Yahushua, for obedience to the faith among all nations from his name. And doesn't mean all nations per capital. It means, because once again, Israel was scattered abroad, right? Among whom are ye also called of Yahushua Mashiach. And here it is. To all that be in Rome, beloved of Rome, of the Most High, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from Yahweh, our Father, and the Lord Yahushua. So who was called the saints? The Israelites. Let's go just basic 101. Psalms, this one is quick. Psalms 50:5, it says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So who made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? Israel. So when Paul went to Rome, he went to the Israelites that were dwelling in Rome. Okay? Back in Romans 1, and I'm going to jump down to 20 now. Or actually 19. Because that which may be known of the Most High is manifest in them, for Yahweh have showed it unto them. Matter of fact, 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahushua, for it is the power of the Most High into salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek, which was I just read. Some Israelites were calling themselves Greek. 1 Corinthians 12 and 1. Matter of fact, let me just get that. When Paul went to Corinth, this is why he said, 1 Corinthians 12 and 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. So the subject is the dumb idols. Okay? Named gods, unnamed gods. Israel was into idolatry. Okay? Proving that we are those people to this day. The same people doing the same stupid shit. Back in Romans 1 and 17. For therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. Okay? For the wrath of the Most High is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness, unrighteousness of men who hold the truth unrighteousness, because that which may be known of the Most High is manifest in them, for the Most High have showed it unto them. The Lord showed that he existed several times, plenty of times. But who did Israel give credit to? They give credit to these different gods. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without cause. So the visible the visible world is what spills out to the physical world. So the spiritual is always doing something which spills out into the physical. All right. So for the invisible things of him, which are the spirits, from the creation of the world, are clearly seen. So you have the sun, the moon, the stars, got animals. Another thing that they used to worship heavily throughout all these nations is the phallus, which is the penis, and a dome, which represents tits. So they always have a infatuation with the body parts. All right, always. By the things that are made, even his eternal power, which was talking about the sun, the moon, the stars, and the Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that, when they knew the Most High, they give credits and credence to the creator of all these things. So they say, they speak with their mouth, right? They glorify him not as Yahweh. Neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imagination, and their foolish heart was darkened. That's why the Lord said the Lord made men upright, but they sought out what? Many inventions. And the main inventions that they sought out was what was made of man's hands. Idols. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like corruptible men and and birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things, all right, which is throughout the whole scriptures that tells you, like I stated, when you watch the show, this is exactly what they was doing in Rome. Rome had a significant role, just like Babylon, to Israelites. It was a bad influence. This is why Paul had to go to Rome. All right. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. So what was going on in Rome? A lot of homosexuality, lesbianism. That was common. That was a common thing. It was nothing. And this is why what America does in the dark back in the Roman time was out in the public. Then it was supposed to be I got cleaned up by Christianity, supposedly, and they did things in the dark again. But in this society is backwards. So the forefront is what the world call Christianity, but what they do in the dark is straight up Satan worshiping different gods. This is the exact reason why the Lord is going to destroy this place. So who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. So they worship everything. They just follow what the heathens were doing. So this is why the Lord allowed these things. This is exactly why our people, the scripture says in Isaiah, the first chapter. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. 1 and I believe it's 7. I'm thinking of. It's 8. Your country is desolate. Your cities, matter of fact, your countries are desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. It is desolate and overthrown by strangers. The daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in the vineyard, as a lounge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Meaning what? They took advantage of everything. This is why that movie, They Clone Tyrone, as I was watching it, I'm like, damn, the Lord did a number on us. Because he allowed our enemies to do whatever they want. It was a free-for-all. Oh, this is the opportunity that they all seeked. except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and should have been as Gomorrah. Because why? What happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? It was utterly destroyed. So if it's not because of the elect, all Israel would have been destroyed. All right, all Israel would have been destroyed. It says, "Hear the word of the Lord, you rulers of Sodom, and give unto the law of your power, you people of Gomorrah." So this is here the Lord calling his people Sodom and Gomorrah, which leads back to this Romans 9 and 1 and 22. It said, no, I'm sorry, 25. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who was blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up into vile affection, for even their own women did change their natural use into that which is against nature, which was what? Being lesbians. That was not part of our culture. All right? That was never part of Israelites' culture. That's forbidden. But the people in Rome, our people in Rome, that's what they were doing. And likewise also the man leaving their natural use of a woman burned in their lust one towards another, man with man, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of their own error, which was meant. What is a recompense? A payment. So for doing these vile, wicked acts, you're supposed to be put to death according to our law. Point blank, period. All right? And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Let me look this up. To come down, come to, reach, is fit. So something that is not supposed to work with you. Let me see what it says in 1 and so that's Romans 1 and 26 NLT. This is why the Most High abandoned them to their shameful desire. Even the women turned against their natural way to have sex, instead indulged sex with each other. And the men, instead of having normal sexual relations with women, burned with lust for each other. Men did shameful things with other men. As a result of this sin, they suffer within themselves the penalty that they deserved. Since they thought it foolish to acknowledge the Most High, he abandoned them to their foolish thinking and let them do things that which should never be done. Their lives become full of they're full of every kind of wickedness, sin, greed, hate, envy, murder, quarreling, deception, maliceness, or malicious behavior, and gossip. They are backstabbers, haters of God, insolent, proud, boastful. They invent new ways of sinning, and they disobey their parents. They refuse to understand, break their promises, and heartless and having no mercy. They know the Most High justice requires that those who do these things deserve to die. All right? Yet they do them anyway. Worse yet, they encourage others to do them too. So this is what Paul had to deal with. This is what Paul had to go around and deal with, because this is what our people was doing. So this all goes back to, I believe the scripture says, the beginning of sins is It's an Apocrypha. It's an Apocrypha. You get that in it. There's pride right here. There's another one. Alright, I'm going to read a couple of them. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12. For the deserving... yeah, there it is. For the deserving of idols, or the division of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by vainglory of men they enter into the world, and therefore shall they come surely to an end, which leads to something more beautiful, which I'm not going to read that. But the point is, that was the beginning of spiritual fornication. So when you go into the history once again, and you understand what was going on, and how much different guys that the Romans did follow, and you see how our people was at a great fault. And this is why the Lord, to this day, is about to judge 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Okay? With that, we'll sign real quick to the Spirit. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.